Hi, my name is Dolly. Some of you might be wondering why I'm on this strange planet. I guess I live here now. But you know, it's not all bad. Sometimes some old 2000 stuff will float by and I could go. Oh, hey, it's a G3 Core Claudine doll. Man, I am never gonna get the new ones at this rate. Some of you might know that I really like fashion dolls, especially Monster High. I was a big Monster High kid. I was kind of obsessed with the movies. Why Do Girls Fall in Love is my personal favorite. I really want a Valentine doll, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Monster High is a franchise that is heavily associated with nostalgia and the 2010s fashion that Monster High really leaned into. The unique gimmick of Monster High was that the characters were children of famous monsters. This led to a bunch of really creative character designs that have become very iconic. They really revolutionized the doll market back in the 2010s. So when in late 2022, Mattel announced a new generation of Monster High that would reimagine these iconic characters, you could say it was a little controversial. Now, I don't personally think that G3 was as bad as a lot of people made it out to be in the beginning. They've got new hair textures, some gorgeous faces, and I'm in love with the different G3 body types so much. Say what you want, but at least the fashion doesn't look like modern Barbie. I'm just kidding, but Barbara Millicent Roberts, what is this? I do believe that there is some good criticism for these designs, and I do think that they have gotten better as G3 has progressed. So, as someone who is a fan of G3, I thought it would be fun to try and redesign some of the dolls, while still keeping the spirit of the G3 style, and just make them into something I personally would like to see in the dolls. So, let's start off with our first design. So, I really love G3 Caddy. I love the body type they gave her and the little stars near her eyes. She's so pretty! The reason I wanted to start with her first is because she's probably the one I wanted to change the least. The main thing that I really wanted to redesign was her outfit. My main issues were that her clothes are a little hard to read, the silhouette especially. I also feel like having the big pink shoulder accessories are hard to differentiate from her hair at first glance. So, Caddy is a character that was first introduced in G1 in 2013 and appeared in the Boo York movie. She also had a love interest named Seth. She was a famous pop star who also happened to go to Monster High. In G3, she is still a pop star, but unfortunately not much else has been shown on her character other than a first look of her in the show's style. Weirdly enough, I was not a big fan of G1 Caddy. Which is weird, because I'm pretty sure she's a popular character, but I guess I never saw anything that made her unique from any of the other Werecat characters in G1. Like, her basic silhouette was the same as all the others. That is definitely something that G3 has done better, and I love her! Caddy's doll got a lot of hate when it was revealed, and while I'm not going to get too into it, while there's always room for constructive criticism about a design, if you're just gonna make fun of a doll's body type and say nasty things about a body that a real person has, there's the door. And don't let G3 Claudine hit you on the way out. But if you're a G3 Caddy lover like me, tell me in the comments, please. I'd love to see some Caddy positivity. For my design, I wanted her outfit to be a very visually dynamic color from the rest of her, so I decided to go with a mainly white outfit. I also wanted to add little green accents to her design, like her eyes, mostly because green is often associated with luck, and she's a black cat. I thought it was clever at the time. I did keep her having the motif of stars and the number 13 because 13 is considered an unlucky number, which I thought was a really good design choice. Fun fact, that's why a lot of buildings don't have a 13th floor. The more you know. I also wanted to give Caddy a bit of a higher ponytail to really help her silhouette, and so you'd be able to see the iconic ponytail from the front. I gave her this kind of half skirt thing to really help give her a unique look and shape in comparison to the other G3 dolls. and because she's a pop star. Kind of like a performance look for her, something that's super dramatic and striking, but not something that she'd wear every day. I'd love to see some casual wear caddies, but I figured for her core doll design, I should really focus on the pop star element of her character. I'm honestly really excited to see what future dolls Mattel will make for Caddy, because from what I've seen, they responded pretty well to criticism and have newer dolls that the fans really like. I'd love to see Caddy with some different performance outfits, like as if they were from different tours or something. But I'd also love to see her in just like a cute little autumn outfit or something. Please Mattel, I'm begging you, just make another Caddy doll. So to add the final touches to her outfit, I add a faint little star pattern all around the white of her outfit, and then I also add a little bit of cheetah print to kind of give some variety, and so it's not just all white. And here is our lovely Caddy Noir. Ah, I love how she turned out! If I became skilled enough, I'd love to make this outfit for my Caddy. Next up, we have Miss Laguna Blue. Now, one of the main differences between old and new Laguna Blue is that she's pink. This was something that upset a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you guys, I used to hate Pink Laguna. What? They can't make her pink! Her name is Laguna Blue! But I realize now a big reason why they kept the name Blue was not to make her seem like a completely new character, and so they didn't have to trademark a new name. But while I disliked Pink Laguna in the beginning, I now realize she has a lot of potential. Once I looked at Laguna with an open mind, I knew immediately. Gyaru. And then I fell absolutely in love with this idea, and luckily it seems like a lot of people agree with me. A unique characteristic of G3 Laguna is that she has these interesting blue gradients on her legs that, while I honestly think look really pretty, they do have this problem where the paint rubs off, so that is an unfortunate design issue. I'd honestly really like to see a Laguna that had like water in her legs. Like blue water with little goldfish or dolphins in it. Kinda like the Novi Stars dolls. Or those new Rainbow High ones, but I think it would make more sense on Laguna. And if it was just on the lower legs, you probably wouldn't have the issue with the paint since it's two different materials. But I totally get if Mattel didn't want to do that. So for our Laguna, I really wanted to give her big hair as it's a very iconic part of Gyaru fashion, and because I wanted some hairstyle diversity. One of the main criticisms I would give to G3 is that a majority of the dolls have long hair that really isn't in any unique hairstyles, and there aren't really many different lengths. Luckily, they seem to be trying some new stuff with the most recent ones, so I'm very happy about that. But for our core group, it's debatable. I also wanted to use a little bit less colors in Laguna's hair compared to her core doll because I felt it makes the top half of her design a little too busy. So I decided to just keep her hair mainly blue and yellow. I put her hair into this literal fishtail hairstyle because I thought it helped lean into the more sea creature aspect of her character. And because it reminded me of the weird tail thing that Equestria girls would do with their hair. I never understood this. Why does it do that? And I of course wanted to give her a cute swimsuit that still had a bit of creepiness to it in the fish skeleton bits on the top. And I gave her some big chunky nails. This is probably the most nails I have ever drawn for a video. And I did decide to use the blue water filled with dolphins and goldfish idea on her shoes. She has water in her shoes! I get that this is a weird concept, but I do find it silly. I love it! Ah! I also made sure to keep the vibrancy that her G3 design has because I feel like it helps keep the original vibe of G3. Especially since my design is pretty far off from the original G3 Laguna. And here is our girl Laguna. She may be my favorite of the video. I love how yummy she looks. She's like one of those frosty bouncy balls. You know the ones. Now we move on to the werewolf Claudine. Claudine is the new protagonist character of G3, which I think makes sense because Frankie was kind of the main of G1 and then Draculaura was for G2. G2. She looks like she's seen some things.
Hello.
They took her kneecaps. let's maybe not talk about that. So, while G1 Claudine was a very confident, self-assured character, G3 Claudine is a little bit more nerdy. She's definitely more of a sillier character, which I do think is cute. They've added sculpted fur to her design, which I really like, especially since in G1 the only thing that really showed she was a werewolf was her ears. She doesn't even have a tail, which really confused me because all of the other were creatures had tails. I did give her a tail in my design. So another big thing a lot of people didn't like about her design was her glasses. And in some of her more recent dolls, they skipped the glasses entirely, which I think is too bad because glasses on dolls can be really, really cute. I think the main problem with Claudine's was how thick and chunky they were. While this can look great on a person, on a doll, it can obscure too much of the face, and it can look like a big chunk of plastic on her head. So what I would do is give her thinner glasses that don't obscure her eyes as much. Since we're thinking in doll proportions, the lenses themselves would be pretty wide, but I think it's important to still think stylistically when working on a doll design. Fur is a big part of Claudine's designs for both generations, but I feel that G3's approach to fur fell into the problem of an indistinct silhouette again. With the fur jacket they gave her, she kind of looks like a purple blob, which isn't the most aesthetically appealing look. So I wanted to kind of shave off some of the fur on the jacket to help give it a more defined shape. But I also wasn't too sure about the purple. Claudine has a lot of purple in her design already, and I feel like this just makes her readability a bit muddled in the grand scheme of things. So I went with her secondary color, yellow. I was really worried this was gonna look weird and it looked like she was wearing a Pikachu jacket. How many Pikachus died for that? But I think it turned out pretty nice in the end. Then, like I said for Laguna, I wanted to do something a little more interesting with her hair. I didn't really like all the different shades of purple in her hair and felt it made her look a little too busy. And I thought that dark brown would help silhouette her face nicely. But I did keep some purple in these two braids. I also wanted to give her more textured hair, as this is something that I'd love to see in more dolls, Monster High especially, to give them some more individuality. And it looks so pretty on dolls! Ah! Then for her shoes, I wanted to have more wolf motifs, so I added these claws near her heel and lots of spikes. Hee! I love putting spikes on Monster High designs. My favorite G3 Claudine doll is definitely Monster Ball because, I mean, just look at her. She's magnificent. These are all the G3 dolls I have. If you guys have any, please tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear about your favorites. On the doll, her glasses are held up by her little sculpted tufts of fur, which I found kind of weird because in reality it doesn't make sense how her glasses are staying on because she doesn't have human ears. It's kind of the how can they hear through the headphones situation. So in my design, her glasses are actually held on by her wolf ears. You can't see it yet in the speed paint, but I promise you will. I'd honestly love for them to give her more dolls with glasses because of how customizable they are. Have glasses on each doll that had their own little unique designs and accessories on them, and the style of glasses could change depending on the theme of the doll. There's so much experimenting they could do that I would love to see. I really like it when they experiment with animal print for Claudine, as it leans into the werewolf part of her character. So I wanted to add it to my design. I really like it when they use tiger stripes as the animal pattern for her because it reminds me a lot of like claw marks, and it helps to kind of give this sharpness to her design. I was kind of inspired by the way early Bratz fashion looked for Claudine. Personally, I'm more of a Pinky Cooper person than a Bratz one, but I really liked the way Bratz fashion had this very realistic look. Like, something that would be easier to see a real person wearing, but it still felt very visually appealing. I kind of wanted that vibe for Claudine, although of course her clothes are a little more wild, as that is the norm for Monster High. So I tried to meet in the middle of the two aesthetics while still keeping the look of a G3 Monster High doll. And with that, here's our ghoul Claudine. I really love the way her face turned out. And I think she looks super cute. Toralei was the most difficult one for me to do because her G3 design wasn't really giving me anything to work with. The only thing that I can really say about her that's unique from her G1 counterpart is that she's British. So, at least in the beginning, Toralei is still an antagonistic character as she was in G1, and Draculaura is a witch in G3, so that creates some tension. From what I could get from her fashion-wise, she kind of had a punk vibe going on, so I kind of went with that. I had the idea of her having this kind of alley cat thing going on, so some of her clothes would be made of garbage. Kinda like the cancelled doll line Trashy and Ally that had a similar gimmick. I've actually been considering doing a Trashy and Ally video, so if you guys are as interested in seeing Trashy and Ally designs as I am, definitely let me know. The fact that we could have had a mouse fashion doll line and didn't is such a crime. I gave her really short hair, even shorter than G1's to help with the silhouette of each design. Because, like the other core dolls, she has this really long hair, and it's strange because in the show and the live action movie, she's got more of a bob going on. Originally going for a punk glam look for her because I noticed a lot of her dolls had singing motifs in them, so I thought maybe that was the thing about her character. But it wasn't really working, and I went back to more of just the punk look. I gave her these heels where the heel of the shoe was a nail, and I honestly do really like that bit of the design. She's got soda can tabs on her shoes and on her chain, and a tuna can as a bracelet. Her little necklace ended up looking a lot like an Animal Jam emoji, which I thought was pretty funny, so I kept it in. Toralei would definitely be that one Animal Jam player that scams you out of all your rares. In the second live action movie, she has this scar that was from a witch who attacked her that I thought would be pretty cool to include. But in my final design, she's wearing long sleeves, but imagine if she rolled up her sleeve, you would see the scar. I also had the idea of her nails being like retractable claws and they kind of just grow whenever she wants. Do you guys like that idea? That one's a little weird, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't too out there. Her pants are also supposed to give the look of like a torn trash bag. I actually like the show design quite a bit. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think I really like the face. I feel like she really works well in this style. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling with this design. I don't know what it was, but there was just something that wasn't quite right. I think a big part of my problem was just that she was probably changed the least, other than being British, from her G1 counterpart. So I didn't have a lot to work off of. It's always the mean girls. Why do they torture me so? I'm looking on the Monster High wiki right now, and apparently Toralei blackmails people? Girl, what are you doing? She has almost no redeeming qualities? What? Okay, that's either a big exaggeration on the wiki writer's part, or oh my god. On the brighter side, she does have a pet tiger named Sweet Fangs. Aww. Similar to Claudine, I think Toralei's more recent dolls have definitely improved on her core design. I especially like the yearbook one. G3 Toralei kind of gives me Descendants vibes. Like, I can totally imagine her jumping around while singing and spray painting things. I think I kind of subconsciously thought about that while doing this design, and so I think if I leaned into that a lot more, she'd look really cool. The Descendants outfits are kinda awful and gaudy, but in a very charming way. They look very unique, I'm not gonna lie. Gaudy outfits will never make me forgive what they did to Ever After High, though.
You will never win.
I've actually been considering doing a video where I redesign the outfits and character designs from Descendants Rise of Red, because I feel like there are some really neat concepts here. But I'm not sure if you guys are interested in Descendants at all. But if you are, definitely let me know because Maleficent needs some help with that horn wig thing. But if you'd rather see an Ever After High video, I could totally do that too. Ever After High was something I also loved just as much as Monster High as a kid, so I would love to be able to revisit it. And here's Toralei. This one is probably my least favorite out of the designs, though I'm not sure exactly what it is. I do like the trash motif a lot though. So, those are all of my G3 redesigns for this video. This was really fun. I love doing anything doll related when I get the chance, so I was so excited to do this video ever since Caddy Noir was leaked. I'm super curious to know who was your favorite character out of the series. If a part 2 is something you guys really want to see, I'd love to try and get this video to 4K likes, so I know that's something that you guys are interested in. And if you are, definitely let me know who you'd want me to do. I'm considering Draculaura or Frankie, but if there's someone else, definitely let me know. I think my personal favorite is Laguna, but I think Claudine is a very close second. I also want to give a huge thank you to you guys. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, and I am in shock. I honestly can't believe that you guys like my art as much as you do, and you're all so amazing for every video. So, thank you guys so much, and goodbye!